And I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Damn it. What's happening? Benton here. As the absurdity churns, as the so called dead world burns. I'm damn near speechless. I just went to old Jack Link's protein snacks in what is this? Underwood, Iowa. Underhanded, Iowa. And boy, they was hating on me from the jump. If y'all can't relate to what it's like to be uh this arrogant, this good looking, and this book smart, and to be driving a truck. So they got to sign, form two lines at the gate, and so I'm behind the outside lane. I'm next after whoever that is. It's taking a while, and the inside lane person leaves, and so the person over there they were there before I was. Now, meanwhile, sometimes what you want to do is just line up behind whoever's there, because just because there's a sign that says form two lines, that don't mean anything. So it turns out whoever was in front of me was with the inside carrier. It's like a local company that hauls a lot of freight out of there, and they got drop trailers all over the place. And there's a bazillion trucking companies, so there's no sense in even paying attention to who this is. And so eventually I creep over to the inside lane because the outside lane ain't going nowhere. And local guy, he's just in there hanging out. Buffoon, he's a buffoon. And the old lady, the crypt keeper at the window. I walk in, of course, they know I've never been there. They immediately know, oh, good looking with it, fit, in shape, 50-year-old, and they're man haters, see. And a lot of people are kind of insular and xenophobic, and I don't give a damn what they are. Just process me and let me get loaded and get the fuck up out of here. I don't give a fuck. And Crypt Keepers just immediately starts barking orders at me. You got to do this and you got to do that. She says something. I hear something about a scan a QR code or use the laptop, and I'm like, well, I don't see a laptop. And then some helpful again, because remember the local people, they're familiar with the place. So the gaslighting and the spiritual attacks of these people against old Benton, supreme authoritative being, this is what he's at a deficit because he's seeing all this for the first time. He don't know the process. Right. So the tone is immediately that I'm guilty of something. See, Benton must be guilty. What I am is treated as if it's guilty in this place with these people are infested with demons. And that's probably the main reason for the earlier short stream when I said people like this world. They like it though, and they like it the way it is. And this is what they prefer as long as they don't have to change. Now they would still prefer if certain things were different, if they can stay the same. They like this as long as they get to stay how they are, and how they are is mostly infested with demons. See, and I've mostly run off the demon infested from this channel. That's going to sound like a cope, and that's fine. And I'm sure out of when there are 10 to 20 people in here at certain times on certain days, occasionally, maybe once or twice a month, 14 people, 10 people, whatever that is. Yeah, maybe a few of them's demon infested. And this is a little different to be under spiritual attack and demonic oppression. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are given over to demonic entities, which is damn near everybody. Let's just call it like it is. And I already, it's like I see her attempt to sort of bait me into engaging with her on that level. But remember, I'm already exhausted and fatigued, and I'm you know I'm beyond disgruntled in my job and all of these things. And really, realistically, I'm just going through the motions till I get my paycheck tonight, and then I don't really give a fuck what happens beyond that. See, they did it to the other guy too. Here's the guy that was behind me. He's pulling an Amazon trailer. They did the same shit to him. They sent him here on a 8-8. So I'm gonna cut to the chase and then go back and fill in. The broker, which has one of the worst reputations, TQI, or total quality, and until very recently, a lot of their loads were set up for these illegal foreign drivers. And they know with the illegal foreign driver, they'll just send them here, be here at 8 a.m. And then Jack Links is an internal, contract for them. And then what Jack Links wants is a truck at the truck stop down the road. So, there's only a few spots. So let's go ahead because I just backed into the local truck stop, and this guy just backed in. It's already filling up. It's 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. So then they just say, your appointment's for 8 o'clock tonight. And so I'm like, well, whatever. But, I'm immediately texting the dispatch, and, they just act like it's now the internal people don't give a fuck. They work for Jack Links corporate. They don't give a fuck. Doesn't matter to them. And remember, the foreigner, they don't, what do they have no fucking idea what's going on. And this is why the industry, Americans prefer illegal foreigners driving trucks. Now, why the industry is supposedly being cleaned up, I have no idea. I can't say now. It's probably further corporate consolidation, because this is ultimately it's going to play into the hands of the big boys. Eventually you won't, companies of the size that I allow to employ me, it won't be economically feasible for them to even bring trucks into a lot of these facilities, right? And remember, my dispatcher is mostly commission. So, he's at all times, he's trying to support his family. And so he thinks he salvaged the, part of his paycheck, because I was tapped out yesterday. I was just put it to him. I said, man, I'm delivering this load, and I'm taking the rest of the weekend off. And then, I'm reasonable, and he's, giving me the deal about his pay. And I'm like, listen, man, I don't give a fuck, but I'm not just going to fuck somebody over. And I know I can just keep pushing through. It's like, whatever, dude, but I'm communicating with him. I said, listen, man, I'm obviously not going to take time off. I don't know when I'm going to be tired. I don't even know how long, because he kept mentioning this 5 days that I unexpectedly took off, because apparently that fucked his paycheck that week. It's like, I don't even know. I'm like, man, I don't even know how long ago that was. And he's like, I think it was about 3 weeks ago. I said, no idea. I don't even know when that was, man. So, I clearly have no ability to plan my off time. So that's what I told him. I said, listen, you're going to have to figure it out. You're just going to have to. And I said, I understand trucking set up to where, in a vacuum, y'all would want nobody to ever take home time. And the problem is, I'm willing to do that, except eventually I'm going to start going, it's not crazy, but I'm going to start losing my shit. And then I'm going to go off the reservation. And now it's like, we thought we were going to be able to schedule him all these loads, but now he's moved into a motel for a fucking paid for a week. You know what I mean? It's just like, at a certain point, I got to put myself first. And I'm basically daring them to fire me at that point. It's like, come get your shit, partner. Or tell me where you want it taken to. Right. And nobody wants any parts of that, because, other than foreigners, potentially human trafficked foreigners, nobody wants to, live in a truck, and people have lives and all of this. And now the foreigner, and I don't know what this other guy's going to do. You know, maybe he drives all night. I'm going to be asleep at 8 p.m. tonight. I can almost guarantee you that. I think I'm pretty sure I saw this guy down there. Same thing, man. Here's what happened. You got the local guys who knows what's up. They were coming in on deliveries. They're bringing in product. So they're, bullshitting with the, they're bullshitting with the ladies there, and they know everything. And then, so me and two other guys, and two of them got Amazon trailers. We come in thinking we got 8 a.m. appointments to get loaded, and they tell all three of us, no, they said, we're going to assign you to the truck stop, and y'all are going to come back at 8 p.m. Like, well, I just said, well, I'm going to be asleep at 8 p.m., but, let me let my dispatcher know, because he's going to be freaking out. And they treated me like a subhuman piece of garbage from the jump. And which is funny, because when I'm in this state that I'm in now, I just double down on my own arrogance. And it is my basic personality, is just cocky and arrogant, and finds humor in it, And so these local guys are they think I need help with the process of checking in. And so I immediately start heckling them based on their lack of intelligence, and just kind of ridiculing the idea that they would be in some way qualified to help me. Because like when I said, well, I don't see a laptop, the one guy points at the tablet, and I'm like, I just bust him out on that. I'm like, well, I don't see a laptop, and then this guy's pointing at a tablet. So I don't know what's going on here. Like, this is crazy. And then I say, well, we all know, I know this. I said, if we pass out the written tests, when we score the test, one of us is going to score number one every time. And I pointed at myself, and I said, that's me. Right. And then the barely literate, disgusting, obese trucker, just the blob, on the stool over there, the local guy. Now he wants to try to get in a back and forth with me about, basically, well, maybe you ought to go be a lawyer or something. It's like, I'm like, no, I'm good on all that. But then he wants to try to match wits with me, and that was comical. But and then the other guy, who's probably fairly book smart, he tapped out. And then the whole time this part's happening, I'm just on the tablet filling in my information, and finally he's basically like says to the ladies some version of this is all too much for him in the morning. I said, well, that's funny, because I can do this all day. Like, this is right up my alley, partner. I don't know what to tell you. He got the fuck out of Dodge. Of course, the blob just kept blobbing. He was there when I left, the blob. And so, that's part of the value that some of these brokers give to these big corporations. Is these big corporations, they want a truck nearby for 12 hours. Oh, now it says, please come back. That's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. Oh, man. See, you can't make this up. See, I just got a text from him. Please come back now. Thanks. Wow. This is crazy. And I'll tell you this, part of the gaslighting of this world of death and game of lies is this idea that we're all supposed to play nice with each other. And here's what I have to say about that. How you going to love a demon? I interacted with 4 people, and every damn one of them's demon infested. So how you going to love a demon? Right. So what I am is obligated to return. And some will say, oh, love your enemies, turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek means I forgive the first transgression, which means when she talks to me like I'm a subhuman piece of garbage, I just let it roll off my back and keep it moving. That's the turn the other cheek. We done turn the other cheek with 3 out of 4 of them. And the fourth, the only one who, the one lady who's, maybe somewhat appealing on some level, she didn't ever offend me, right? She didn't transgress. She might not be infested with demons. I don't know. Hard to believe though, working down there, right? And now they want me to go back. I'm not going back there. My dispatch can call and try to talk me into it. I want to see what these other guys do because they just parked. Are they dumb enough, or do they have later appointments? Are they dumb enough to go back? I kind of want to see if they leave. Cause see, I'm starting to think they're fucking with me again. That they're going to try to. Cause I think they heard me say they are probably smart enough to know that I'm just going to get assigned a different load, and I think they're trying to get me onto the property so um, they can just have me wait all day. Yeah, this is crazy, man. Now I happen to get paid for this, remember, because I'm on a day rate. But imagine being some foreign illegal driver making, God knows what a cents per mile, and then this is see. And how is this right, Americans? How is this right and righteous? How is this okay? Because they're from other countries. Oh, I didn't even tell you the best part. So, why am I talking about foreign illegal drivers in the first place? It's because uh, the first thing I texted dispatch this morning was I punched the pickup and the delivery into my GPS, and it's 700 miles exactly, not counting the 13 or the 17 miles to the pickup. And there's some attractive women around here. I'm kind of a little shocked. It's a gas station. I ain't trying to look for them, but I've seen a couple go by. Just caught them out of the corner of my eye. But anyway, so it says, so basically the drive time, not counting the 17 miles to the pickup, is going to be right at 11 hours, 700 miles. And, then you have to take a 30-minute break. And that was before I even left for the pickup. And it said if I just started driving right then, I would get there at 3:45 p.m., 5:45 p.m., which means you subtract 2 hours and then you get your 10-hour break. So that means we're already late because we're not even to the facility yet, and they haven't started loading us. And I remember I was at the gate for 30 minutes. And they want this thing delivered tomorrow at 5 a.m. Right. And so this is what and how can this happen? Well, number one, I don't have representation as an over-the-road truck driver. There's not a union, or I have no representation other than me. And the broker and the corporation have all the information. And then my company has information that I don't have. And then I have effectively no information. And I'm told lies and untruths with plausible deniability. Right. I get told lies and untruth with plausible deniability. And I think this shows some of the brainwashing of the realm, which is there were 3 people listening to me. And then as soon as I unleashed my true arrogant, cocky personality, 2 of them left. Right. It's like, you could have some swag and some arrogance to you in the old days. Right. And whether people didn't like it or maybe some people were attracted to it, it was a hey, deal with it type of world, meaning I dealt with other people's personalities. I accepted them on some level as I met them. It wasn't, now certain people you just take an immediate dislike to, right? But, ultimately, and see, surprise, surprise, there's a motel right here. I can move into that motel right now. There's a motel across the street, but the planets are aligning. But I'm sensitive to these dynamics. The moment my true character, and it's not mine, right? It's the dead. It's part of the dead performer and the dead performance. It's bent the performer. It's not what I am. It's not, it's not the spirit of what I am. The spirit of what I am would want to treat these people well, right? Well, again, how you gonna love a demon? There's really no option of you kind of got to just treat them as the bozos they are, in my opinion. See, this other guy, he's going back. This is crazy. He's going back, man. I'm not doing the motherfucking hokey pokey. All right. Well, I'm just gonna wait till they contact me. I mean, I got half a mind to move into one of these motels and fly the fuck out of here to LA early next week. I think they might have truck parking across the street there, maybe. I see a place I could put the truck. I don't know if they have access to that or not. It looks like all the same property. It ain't really check-in time. So the other guy, I don't know what he's doing. He looks like maybe he went to sleep and then, because some of these truckers, man, they can just sleep anytime. So if they show up at 8 a.m. only to get told, hey, your appointment's tonight, they just go to the truck stop and go the fuck to sleep. I can't do that. My body and my consciousness and my mind it's all set up to it's all set up to be ready to work right now, not to maybe work or maybe go to that's a zombie, man. How the fuck, how is that even possible? Like, I understand maybe some people just they are able to do that, but I mean, that's got to be a fairly rare ability, right? It's like, oh, I can perform at a high level safely, or I can go to sleep all day. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, huh? What? And the further absurdities of trucking, but you know, when I get into a certain state and I'm doing my best to cope with the absurdities, why do I gotta manifest in ways that are not to my liking? How come I gotta be less arrogant than I normally would be because people don't like it, right? Then change your channel, and they did change the channel. But where are they going to go? Maybe now this is one of them coming back. Perhaps they say, okay, maybe we'll go back later. Maybe he'll have knocked it off with the arrogance. And as we know, all arrogance gets lumped in with narcissism these days. It's like, well, yeah, I have some of those traits. I'm not a fucking narcissist. I have some of those traits. Sure, of course I do. Yeah, if you met my dad, you would see he's full blown. It's part of how I was able to see him in myself was watching him and saying, well, I see it in him, and clearly I'm got some of what he's got. Thank God I don't have the full shot. And I've always had a high ability to introspect, which you can't be a narcissist and introspective. I don't know if y'all know that. It's impossible. There's no such thing as a person with narcissistic personality disorder who also exhibits a high level of introspection. Not possible. You would be into actual fucking criminal psychopathy at that point. Based on my understanding of psychology, anyway. Lay expert in human psychology. Yeah, see, this guy, he's done fucked around and went to the car side. He's getting honked at by cars. He's lost. Hell, he probably got the text. He probably got turned around and then got the text to go back. And so I can sit here and just watch. No, where's he going? No, he's making a right. Never mind. That'd be hilarious if he just pulled in, got the fucking word, Thunderbird, and went right back. Also, the deliveries in Forest City, Arkansas, which is, my hometown historically in Arkansas was like the violent crime capital of the state and the nation at times, depending on what measurements one used. But then Forest City's up there a lot of times in recent years. Also, Helena, West Helena. But yeah, good old Forest City. Blytheville, I think, sneaks in there too. Blytheville, Blytheville. Oh man. I'm starting to think if maybe the corporate policy is you can't if they show up because my appointment time was 8 a.m. I'm wondering if the corporate tells them to uh, just turn them away and send them to the truck stop if they get there before 8, and then part of their strategy because they know a lot of those truckers will be like, well, it's I waited so long to be next in line that it's damn near 8. So the truckers are going to be like, why the fuck would I leave now? Oh man, this is hilarious. Now I'm getting texts that I've been assigned to whatever this means. I don't even know what that means. All right, we're back. We're back. I'm over it, man. And this is, I feel myself being drained, right? Which again, I think what's happening is the healing is, it's being alchemized. And I was talking the other day about this concept of loosh, and you have where the person is emotionally lashing out, and the idea that entities are able to feed off of that energy. But then when I Googled it, there was also something about, there was like an opposite form of that. I don't remember exactly. Let me Google it. And again, it's just theoretical, right? It's just, I'm not talking, people say, well, that's not real or what. Look, I'm just talking about a thing that may or may not be a thing. It's a metaphysical term for a type of emotional or psychic energy generated by sentient beings, particularly humans, often linked to intense experiences like love, fear, or suffering. Coined by Robert Monroe, it is described as being harvested or farmed by external, often non-physical entities. A Reddit thread explores the theory that humanity is in a prison planet or simulation with emotional pain or fear harvested as a fuel source. And, I guess, and I'm not saying that's valid or invalid, but, that would be a way in which this creative subversion is facilitated, perhaps. Positive loosh, conversely, some interpretations suggest it can also mean positive emotional energy, such as unconditional love. Well, see, I don't think that's the case, but that's the part of it that could actually be the healing. So the whatever, what I am is healing, the dead flesh, right? And that could be representative of loosh, I guess. So this, in feeling drained, what's actually being drained away, because remember the actual, the creative force, the what I am portion of it, the indivisible force, that can't be exhausted in the first place, right? That's an inexhaustible power source. So the feeling or perception or sensation of being sort of psychically drained, right? That actually could be, in this case, because the emotion is no longer there. So as that stagnated emotion of the past is siphoned off in a healing, right? Or is, otherwise transmuted into, higher vibrational forms, then, maybe that accounts for the feeling of being drained. Because, when I first punched all that into my GPS this morning and saw that, well, this is physically fucking impossible in the first place. This load is literally physically impossible. This is the illegal drivers, they show up and they've always got a full clock because their ELD is backdoored. So they don't have to take a 30-minute break because they've got a backdoored ELD. So because when I just talked to the dispatch, he's trying to say that, this is way too tight. I said, no, man, it's impossible. I said, this load can't be done on legal logs. This is for the illegal foreign driver. And as soon as they get loaded, they drive the entire way there with their foot down the whole way. They go 75 miles an hour and don't stop, and most likely they show up fueled up, right? They just leave. There's no 30-minute break. There's no piss break, right? They just go. So if, a significant portion of those drivers are no longer available to the broker, well, you still got the broker still trying to, operate based on, even if the broker is going to have to pay more for like my company to take the load. Well, I can't do that I can't do it on legal logs. It's just simply not possible. But yeah, so I felt pretty drained, and then, I just figured, well, I texted them and they said, oh, well, okay, we'll reschedule it or whatever. We'll reschedule the delivery. And, Now I'm feeling drained again because he's like, "Oh, I'm going to find you something else." But it's like at this point, what's the fucking difference? And that's what I told him. I said, "Man, I said, you know what? You know, what's the hurry now? I mean, there's really no hurry, but now, you know, but here's what I told him. I said, yeah, but I'm starting to glitch out, so I said, I'll just shut up and let you handle it." And that's what I told him. I'm starting to glitch out, and I am. This shit's glitching me the fuck out. And here's how much I've been working, and here's how much snow shit I've been driving in. Are they calling me again? I've been driving in. I cleaned the window, the outside of the side windows, and it didn't even come close to getting all that salt and grime off of there. And I would have washed them twice, except I'm almost out of cleaner. I need to go buy some cleaner. Of course, I just went to Walmart, failed to do so, but that's another matter entirely, right? But anyway, I guess I've yapped about all this about as much as I can. I don't even know what else. There's really no point in even talking about it right now. Just off the chart. The absurdity is off the charts. And also, well, I do want to end on this. When you start seeing this just overt, scary news like $111 for a barrel of oil, and news reports are saying, well, now diesel fuel's going up, so the price of everything's probably about to go up as a result, and people are already, squeezed to the max, and then all this war talk, like, a lot of these people are barely hanging on by a thread, and then the realm ramps it up a notch, and I really do see it reflected in their behavior. And I would say overall, I'm pretty even keel. So I would expect, no matter what they try to get me to go do today, I expect certainly further absurdities without question. But anyway, bye.